It's great to get the opportunity to go out and represent Ontario at the President's Cup, but we feel we left a little bit of unfinished business out there. Every team in this league is putting out a top-notch product.
It's not necessarily about what we do at the President's Cup or before that, it's about what we do here today. So when the playoffs come around and when that national championship comes around, we're ready to be the best in the country.
Fell a little bit short of our ultimate goal, so I think guys are coming back in a little better shape and hungry. Hopefully we can kind of pick up where we left off.
Everybody are ready and primed to go. The process keeps on going. Our goal is to be back at the President's Cup.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to the Toronto Rock Athletic Centre in Oakville, Ontario, the home of the Oakville Titans of the Ontario Series Lacrosse, if you're unfamiliar with that term, formerly Senior B. And as we were told prior to this season, nothing senior about it and nothing B about it either, as there is plenty of NLL talent now making their way into this level of competition. Going to see a few of those here tonight. And speaking of the NLL, we'd be remiss if we didn't start the broadcast by congratulating the new assistant coach of the Oakville Titans, Bob McMahon, on his and the Calgary Roughnecks championship last night. An overtime victory out in Calgary. They take the final series by a score of 2-0, and a pretty classy move by veteran Dan McRae, passing off the trophy first thing to Bob McMahon. We're going to start our broadcast tonight. Going to start our broadcast this evening, with a tribute to a former Oakville Titan, as well as a former member of the KW Velocity, Brett Snell, who passed away last year. And the tribute for them is coming up. When it happens down on the floor, we'll go to it live. The KW Velocity are just making their way onto the floor this evening. They'll be running in front of Josh Falkenstern and looking for their first win of this young season. 0-3 so far on the season, 2-1 the record for the second place Oakville Titans, who picked up a victory earlier this week on Friday, and a victory as well in their home opener against the Owen Sound North Stars here. Game that you saw right here on the JVI Sports Network, as we will bring you season-long coverage of the Oakville Titans and Ontario Series Lacrosse from here in Oakville at the Toronto Rock Athletic Centre. There are the Oakville Titans getting prepared for tonight's game, as they'll crowd around Craig Wendy, the practice roster goaltender of the Georgia Swarm, and the man who's been front and center for this team for a couple years now, reigning two-time league MVP. As the family of Brett Snell makes their way onto the floor, your officials will be Jeremy Bailey and John Watson. Again, as we said, just waiting for a pregame ceremony to honor Brett Snell. We've gone live a few minutes early. We know there's been family and others tuning in. And you can see Josh Briscoe down there getting things prepared, as well as head coach Frank Lachowski, the man all the way to the right-hand side. Head coach of the Oakville Titans, him and his staff, the reigning top coaching staff of the year in OSL. Mina Briscoe has our opening ceremony. So obviously an emotional evening here. We hope you can hear the voice of Mina Briscoe. This is the family of Brett Snell now taking the floor for pregame ceremonies to join Frank Lachowski and Josh Briscoe. Right at the end of the starting lineups, Brett Snell announced as the extra man for both teams in the starting lineup tonight for both the KW Velocity and the Oakville Titans.
Started playing at a very young age, as is the custom and the requirement. He was another of my kids I registered religiously to bring into the lax family factory. I recall him, a young Zach Thompson, and a few here this evening, attending the top-down camp back in the day for junior 18. It will always be a favorite memory of mine. They received a great camp experience being taught by their hometown girls, and I got to swim and feast from them every day. Brett was a lot of fun and a friend of Thursday, and that beautiful personality never wavered. After completing his minor career with American, Brett played his junior career at the World Inductor with the Vets and his university career at Trent University. Both the Titans and the Velocity OSL are both better organizations by having Brett Snell as a friend, teammate, and a competitor. He always understood what being a team and a great teammate meant. However, more importantly, he was a great human being. It is the ultimate praise to the family who raised and guided him. Tonight, we honor and celebrate a good person, a friend, and a teammate, Brett Snell.
So our ceremonial ball drop, they've asked the captains to approach center as you see the jersey of the former Oakville Titan now hanging next to them. Gage Board, the captain of the Titans, in the blue and white. And Richard Hahn, the captain of the KW Velocity, wearing the black and silver jerseys here today. Will participate in the ceremony opening face-off. Again, the family of Brett Snell there as well. Father wearing his jersey, along with Josh Briscoe, the president of the Oakville Titans, and their head coach, Frank Lachowski. Our condolences to the family of Brett Snell. We'll keep the hashtag Snelly on our broadcast the entire night. Right now, we'll pause for the playing of the national anthem. And ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to welcome you to the Toronto Rock Athletic Center officially. as we're set for game time now. Right in the middle of that huddle right there, the home side, the Oakville Titans. That is Craig Wendy, who's had himself one heck of a, I guess it's about 18 months now. Started last year, I believe, in winter ball. Just a dynamite performance where he plays in this building with the Toronto Monarchs. A blistering summer last year as well as a member of the Oakville Titans, leading the Titans to an Ontario championship and a President's Cup berth. There's Josh Falkenstern as well. Backstopping the KW Velocity. They're waiting Tyler Carlson from NLL assignment, as he's been listed on this roster for a couple years now as well. And that would be a big addition if Tyler Carlson were to make his way here. Ryan Masters will serve as the backup for Falkenstern this evening. Jesse Legault in support of Craig Wendy. Opening face-off back down in the Velocity zone, and KW will come away with it. They are in their black and silver jerseys, as we said, working left to right here in the opening period. No over and back if you're still in winter mode. We know the NLL finished last night. We'll also play 3 20-minute periods. And our shot clock will be 30 seconds. It's down to 4 now, as Henry Archer on the far side running out of time, and a good defensive set right out of the gate for the Oakville Titans. Wooden stick on the floor there for Greg Phillips as he gets the high assignment on the ball carrier, rating League Rookie of the Year, Cree Blakely. And in our conversation with him prior to the season, if you missed it, expecting a few more touches should the combination of Brandon Slade and Dan Craig not return right in front. Matthew Lee, I believe, picking up. Yeah, that is Matthew Lee. Had to double check there if it was indeed Matthew Lee. He's got fresh locks for today's game, it looks like. But picking up the rebound off the initial shot and the reset, Falkenstern could not regain his footing, and it is 1-0 early on here for the Oakville Titans. Captain Gage Board sidestepping his way in, takes a shot, and it's a hard rip that goes off the post. Bounces all the way back down into Oakville territory. And they get a reset past center. Eddie Renault down low, and a shot and a goal there for Ryan Smith. Burlington Chiefs fans recognize that shot from Smith coming out of the corner right up in front. And he slotted in nicely for them last year in the absence of Chris Boucher, who graduated and then entered and was drafted into the NLL. 2 minutes gone already, 2-0 for the Titans off 3 shots. And the Velocity yet to get one on the board, and another face-off win here for the Titans. It'll be Chris Young backhanding it into the attacking zone, but a good check there. And now an adjustment of the stick as well, as you see Falkenstern in behind, jogging his way to the bench. And that's because we've got a delayed penalty coming. I believe it's going to be a slash to Oakville, as this one bounces off a stick in on Wendy. And yes, indeed, the call is a slash. Already in the box, Curtis Woodland for the Titans. So the KW Velocity, led by their captain, will get the first power play of today's game. As we said early on, Jeremy Bailey and John Watson, your 2 officials. Both veterans in the Ontario circuit. And Jeremy Bailey, a veteran shot clock official in the National Lacrosse League as well. His shot goes wide, bounces off the end boards. Again, no over and back here in summer rules. But the shot clock continues to run as it's down now under 10 seconds. As Kyle Childerhos, his shot goes wide, 3, now 2, and it will expire as this pass trying to go up top, intended for Hahn, will roll all the way down the floor and end up in the corner to Falkenstern's left. Hands team out now for the Oakville Titans. Early 2-0 lead for them. 3 minutes into this game. As Matthew Lee. Couple players on him as the ball now goes to the far side. Bouncer back out in front. Nobody wants it, and the shot clock will expire. Ended up at the feet of Cree Blakely, and half-hearted argument for a delay of game call there in front of the official, but I don't think that was ever going to come to pass as there's now 45 seconds remaining on this Velocity power play. I was going to say, I don't think they registered a shot, and looking up at the board, no, they didn't. Now they have on the power play, and then over the shoulder there by Henry Archie, just missed wide, and now he's got to go in attack mode with the blonde locks flowing out from underneath his bucket. 4 minutes into this contest. As the pass up top, Ryan Johnston, assistant captain, drawing the double team up high. Can't go back over the restraining line. The over and back rule is in effect when you're man down. And it's the face-off restrainer, not half floor. Player leaving the Velocity bench as that one went out of play. Just flipped it right back over the boards. And I think that might be the captain, Richard Hahn. I'm not sure if he's got a stick issue. Doesn't look like an injury. Hasn't gone with the trainer. But out of the corner, quick double team here. Right up on Henry Archie. And Archie trying to dig for it. And that's going to be interference as down went Mason Noble. Racing in, though, Ben Heidecker off the quick restart. And nobody in a Velocity uniform could catch up. And Ben Heidecker makes it 3-0 here for the Oakville Titans. We're 5 minutes in. Want to give a shout out as well to our split crew tonight, as we've got a team up in Brampton, Major Series Lacrosse, which I believe is a free broadcast as well through Lacrosse TV, lacrosse-tv.com. If you sign up, I don't want to be correct on it. Oh, Wendy, a good save there off the Velocity. Shot racing in, but Brampton Excelsior's Peterborough Lakers, as Major Series Lacrosse announcing that they would partner with Lacrosse TV all year. Oh, a cut right in front. Matthew Lee called in the crease, though. So it remains 3-0 here. And Matty sprinting into the half wall. Staying out on defense. I don't think that's him. We were told number 14 would be Matthew Lee. It normally is. And we'll have to double check for you. But he's got the ball again. And now it gets pushed back up top. Another flip back to the line by Sawyer Howell. If that is Matthew Lee, former two Mimico Mountaineer teammates. Connecting there as Howell now goes off. And a good cut from the far side and a shot and a goal on the move, Eddie Renault. 4 goals off 5 shots to start this game for the Oakville Titans. As Renault found a seam and sprinted through it, and that's going to be the end of the night for Josh Falkenstern, at least for the time being anyways, as Ryan Masters will grab a drink and he'll come in wearing the, I believe that's Minnesota Swarm helmet. Oh, quick whistle though. John Watson, I don't think he was aware of the goaltender change. And Masters wasn't even looking at the play. Good thing the Velocity won that faceoff. as it's Henry Archie with it. Spinning away from coverage, but quickly back on him. Alec Tamas, the former St. Catharines Athletic, playing hard defense. Tamas still tied up, and now he comes back for a big chop, looking for this loose ball as it was in the feet of Kyle Rushton. Big takedown on the far side, and getting up slowly looking for his stick is Mason Noble. What a Founders Cup for Mason Noble last year, and the Allura Mohawks Junior B national champions. Craig Wendy to the bench now as John Watson's got his arm high. And it'll be a holding call, the one that took down Mason Noble. Jordan Van Dam heading off. Velocity here without Curtis Oldham. Kevin Campbell, Andy Campbell, Mark Forster, Damian Dewberry, and as we said, Tyler Carlson of those listed on the roster of Greg Hummel and his staff, Brad Mulholland, Dave Matthews, and Stu Gordon. Matty Lee up top, down into the corner, a bouncer. Back again to the quarterback, another shot. Now Masters into the game with his first save. Ryan Smith trying to stand his man up at center. 10 seconds to get over center when killing a penalty. And they do make it to the Velocity as Corey Boyle backs it onto the near boards. Boyle all the way up top for Sean Campbell. Easy to spot him with that yellow bucket. As a hard pass there, just past his outstretched hand. It bounces around in the zone before being corralled by Craig Wendy. Braden Davis. He'll send it up to mid-floor. Hidden ball play here, and it was Cree Blakely that had it. Now to Lee, to Blakely in the corner to Smith. Back for Lee, fakes to the far side, takes the shot into the feet of Masters, and he'll make the save. Ryan Masters has played major series before. He's played pro winter ball, both here in Ontario, and as we said, as a third goaltender, I think a couple times, if I'm not mistaken, in the National Lacrosse League. Coming on in relief tonight of Josh Falkenstern. Here's Lee down into the corner. 20 seconds left in the power play. Blakely in the middle, and his bouncer gets past Masters, the first one that he allows here tonight. And the first one for Cree Blakely. The last time we were here, out of the 18 runners available for the Oakville Titans in that game, 11 or 12, if I'm not mistaken, with points. And that's not even counting the 3 assists that we saw from the netminder, Craig Wendy. So good start already for the Titans as they're up 5-0 here. And a big hit looking for this loose ball off the faceoff right in front of the timekeeper's area. It will be corralled by the Titans. It'll be Woodland. For Gage Board, the captain now. On an arc to the half wall. Picked up by Smith again. Ryan Smith to Ryan Johnston. Out of the corner, 10 seconds left as it comes back in the middle. Loose. On a bounce to Gage Board. Board through the middle. His bounce shot sails over top of the net. And it'll be picked up by the Titans. Excuse me, the KW Velocity here as Jordan Van Dam sends it up the floor. Quickly to the captain, Richard Hahn. Hahn, I believe, was trying to find Childerhose, who was making his way into the set. They go to the far side now on the recovery, and a big tie up far side, and there's going to be a holding penalty here. And I think it's going to be, is it against the Velocity? No. The Oakville player was arguing, it was Cam Mancini, that he was the one being held. But referee John Watson disagrees. And the second power play of the game for the KW Velocity as they look to get one here at the halfway mark of the first period. Trailing 5-0. Oh, Wendy to his right. I'm not sure. I thought that one hit off the crossbar. Shot clock didn't reset, though. as Wendy tomahawks down on top looking for that loose ball. Picked up far side by Tamas. He went to Jamie McMahon, who comes up the boards here to Chris Young. Young playing it back. And both the bench and Jeremy Bailey warning the Titans to watch the line as their man down here racing in is a Titan forward as it's picked up by Richard Hahn. Hahn being forechecked by Cree Blakely, who, as we were saying, to put a cap on the thought with him, with Brandon Slade and Dan Craig playing full seasons with the Toronto Rock in the NLL this season. Many of the Oakville staff and players expect them to be with the Oakville Rock this year. 2-on-1, shorthanded for the Titans as they come in, and the shot from Sawyer Howell saved by Masters as both defenders went over to take away Gage Board as he passed it across. It remains 5-0 here. 35 seconds remaining in this power play for the KW Velocity. And now 10 seconds in their shot clock from a bad angle in the corner. Wendy saves that easily as Corey Boyle was there. Heads up as going for the big hit, out of position, and then the shot goes wide. Curtis Woodland had to be heads up, and then the shot sailed wide. One final chance here for the Velocity, although they lose the ball right at center. Now Ryan Smith chasing down Jordan Dayball. He'll pass it to Archie. The penalty has expired with all that dancing around in the defensive zone for the Velocity. One-handed dodge there for Sean Campbell. Taking the shot, Corey Boyle. His helmet pops off. And are we getting an illegal equipment penalty as he continued to play without the bucket? Looks like John Watson's confused by that rule as well, but 4-on-4. So we get a high sticking call to Alec Tamas, which knocked the helmet off of Corey Boyle. And then as Boyle continued in the play, he gets an unsportsmanlike equipment violation for 2 minutes. So we play 4-on-4 with 7.5 left in the period, going towards the net and in the crease. An Oakville forward, and Ryan Masters quickly back the other way. Too many men coming against the Titans as they touch up. We'll go 4-on-3 in favor of the Velocity here. Titans trying to figure out who's going to serve this one as the man early off the bench to join that rush, try and take it away. Minute 41 left in the 4-on-4. We're 5-0 here with 7.5 remaining in our first period. First of a scheduled 3 20-minute periods as Wendy makes the save, catches it in the left pad, and immediately looking to the front door for Woodland again. And he's going to have himself a transition night, Curtis Woodland, the way this is going. We haven't even hit the second period when that's usually where the Titans pull away from some of their opponents in the transition game. A duck, a dodge to the net, and the goal for Richard Hahn. It took them 4-on-3 to do it. But the KW Velocity are on the board. It's now 5-1. And this is interesting because the time on the clock I don't think is correct. We've got a 1:07 and a 1:26. But I believe they should both be coming out at the 1 minute mark. We're 4-on-4 anyways, floor strength. As Gage Board will go back and corral the loose ball. Board Down the wall here for Smith, ducking out of the way. Masters as that one goes high over the net. Round the back to Smith in the middle. His shot saved and then in the crease. As he tried to pick it out, that is a difference to the summer game when it's down in the crease. To some of the pro rules. As a shot here, Wendy will save it. It rolls down into the corner now. Another crease violation, this time against the Velocity as we're 15 seconds before we return to 5-on-5. Seems like it's been a while since we've played 5-on-5, a couple penalties per side here. And a 5-1 score. Here's the flip as Woodland, hard shot and a nifty pass from Eddie Renault. When he came up through the Oakville Buzz system, Eddie Renault was almost pure shooter, but the last season or two, we've seen him with some pretty setups for this Titans team. And he can still rip from the outside too. Speaking of outside rips, one there that Wendy handles and a quick reset. He gets it up the floor for Chris Young. Young pulls on the brakes, turns and fires and scores as he was getting hit from behind. 5 minutes left here in the period, and Craig Wendy has his first of what's probably going to be a couple of assists here tonight to make it 6-1 for his Oakville Titans. On the goal from Chris Young, transition player. Wendy out of the crease again, heads up down the floor. This time he elects for the short bouncer to his captain, Gage Board, who eats a slash from Archie for his efforts. Board's going to stay on here as he passes to get the left side involved, and a big rip there from Woodland. Save made by Masters, a bit delayed here by Nolan Apers picking it up, but now he gets the reset. Under 5 to play in the first. It's a 5-goal lead for the Titans. Blakely to Smith on the crease. Those two have already connected once here tonight, but not that time as Masters now gets the loose ball and on a bounce. Up to fresh legs coming out of the Velocity door. One-handed and straight into Wendy. This is going to be a problem here as a couple players pushing and shoving. And might we get a scrap? We might not, as Cam Mancini's lost his bucket in a very aggressive way from Jordan Van Dam. With a name like that, you would think so. Wendy does some housekeeping. The bench of the Titans arguing for a 5-minute major for goalie interference here. And we'll see what Jeremy Bailey and John Watson decide to do. The Oakville Pump and Patio is your official post-game party destination of the Oakville Titans. Join the players at the Oakville Pump and Patio after every home game. We understand there's watch parties as well for some of those games. So anybody tuning in down at the Pump and Patio, we want to say hello and thank you for your support of Oakville Titans lacrosse this season. Still waiting for penalties to go on the board as the conversation has finished here. 4.5 remaining in the first. Oakville has 6 goals off 12 shots. 1 goal off 9 for KW, and it took them a while to get their first shot of the game. But Wendy has been solid in his net, not some of the more spectacular shots that we've seen, and only 1 minor on the board. So we've only got 2 on the board. They're announcing a 5 for Jordan Van Dam. And it sounded like 2 for roughing for Joel Vanderwilp. Nothing on the side of the Titans, though, so I thought we may have 10s. but I also thought that 5s needed to go on the board, so I'll have to wait for official confirmation. We may have to go down and check that at intermission for you. Initial shot saved by Masters, rolled all the way up to the restraining line, recovered now. Shot clock down to 20. Woodland wants it. Blakely, the one-timer, quick stick shot. Easy for me to say. As Blakely chasing his man. Jamie Dunbar up and over center. The quick shot by Dunbar, saved there by Wendy, the 10th shot of the period for the visiting KW Velocity. Jogging up here, Creed Blakely. Hidden ball play, and it's on the left-hand side, actually, in the corner as it comes up to Matty Lee. His low rising shot hits the arm of Masters. And another reset, though, as Curtis Woodland will get it. Smith around the back. Up top, here's Woodland again. A low shot. This time Masters is going to hang on as he scoops it out of his crease and does his best Craig Wendy impression, sending it down the floor on the fly to Colin McDowell, who spins. Now draws a double team. One-hand cradle. Tries to spin it back and tie it up and then taken down. I was about to say that was Woodland again, but it's 92, not 32. Braden Davis, the great defensive play in front. Thought he may have been holding on, but just tough in-your-face defense right on the crease. 2.5 left to go. As the Velocity are about to return to even strength. They do that now. As a wide shot. Oh, boy, own goal. Hard bouncer off the end boards. Greg Phillips off his stick. And that shot was going well wide. And the Titans are gifted their 7th of the evening. Seven goals in this first period. And counting with 2:26 remaining. And there will be a conversation over at the timekeeper's box. Quick one. I guess they didn't report the goal. I was wondering if we were going to get word of those other penalties, but they do give it to Woodland. So when I thought his goals may come in transition tonight the way he was playing, he's rewarded by an own goal from one of the Velocity defenders in front of the crease of Ryan Masters. Masters giving up 3 off 9 shots. It was 7 off 9 allowed for the starter, Josh Falkenstern, here in this first period. Here's Childerhouse. Tried to send it into the middle. Archie with a big stick check. Shovels it towards the net. And a crease violation just as the shot clock expires. So take your pick on the infraction. End result, ball goes to the Titans. Sawyer Howell. Back to the line, Ryan Johnston. Johnston, Lee. Woodland over top of everybody in the corner, still bouncing around. First to pick it up is Johnston. And not cleanly, though, as now it's played along on the boards. Looking for it was Howell. But the stick of Steve Cook there to keep it alive. We're into the final minute of this first period. Over far side, a spin back from the Velocity right-hander. And a blind pass behind for Tyler Kahn. Rolls over to the far boards. And 40 seconds here. We had a stare down right at center. And we may have... It's a slash coming to Tyler Kahn. I was wondering if we are going to have offsetting penalties, but just a slashing minor for 41 seconds. Was about to inform you that each team gets 2 timeouts that they can use at any point in the game, but only 1 per period. Obviously, this being the first period, neither team taking a timeout yet. They both have both intact. Up top for Smith. A lot of talking down there from someone of the Velocity. I wonder if it's Masters is the shot from Eddie Renault. We talked about that earlier on, off the post and out of play. Last shot of the period will go to the Titans. This is Renault. He puts it down low to Woodland. Lee gets a pick in front for Smith. Back for Renault. Crosses to the crease. Look at the ball movement here as it's back for Renault and into the corner. Oh my, that was pretty. And to reiterate the thought from the start of this game, nothing B caliber about what happens in this league, and nothing on that play. That was 5-on-5. No, excuse me, that was a power play. That's right. As we had the slash in the box for the Velocity. Titans will win the ensuing face-off and just dump it into empty floor space, and they'll go to the locker room with a 7 goal lead, 8-1 after one period of play. JVI Sports Network earlier this weekend up in Brampton for Junior A lacrosse. A thrilling game between the Brampton Excelsiors Junior A Club and the Mimico Mountaineers. You can watch that on our YouTube channel. Of course, this game today, live and free on YouTube as well. Our crew in support of Lacrosse TV in Brampton for Major Series lacrosse action will be in Peterborough on Thursday for that pay-per-view as well. And we've got Junior B on the YouTube page, as well as everything we were up to in the winter. For your viewing enjoyment, be sure you're subscribed to the JVI YouTube channel and following us on Twitter at JVI Video. If you're interested in having the JVI Sports Network cover your event, please visit jvisportsnetwork.com and contact Gary Morrison, and we'd be happy to come out in support of your event. First period in the books, and it's a big one for the Oakville Titans. They're up by 7. They lead 8-1. After one period of play, we'll take a timeout for about 8.5 minutes and be back with second period action from Oakville. You're watching Ontario Series Lacrosse. Oakville Titans action here on the JVI Sports Network. Teams are back on the floor as we get set for period number 2 here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center in Ontario Series Lacrosse between the Oakville Titans and the KW Velocity. The Velocity, their 3rd season in the league. The Titans coming off an Ontario championship. So that's part of the reason why things are the way they are. After one period of play, 8-1 the score in favor of Oakville. However, like we said, it was 5-1 off 9 shots. 5 goals off 7 shots, excuse me. When starter Josh Falkenstern was lifted in favor of Ryan Masters. He remains in the net for the KW Velocity, although now down to our right-hand side. And there's his first save of the half. Yep, there it is. Knew that was going to happen sometime tonight. Of the quarter. Nope, still wrong as it's a period. I'll get there eventually. Henry Archie jogs across the line. Again, 3 20-minute periods. They switch after the first, and then they'll switch back for the third. So now the Titans going right to left on your screen, and there's Wendy making the save. And this is the period that he likes to start the attack down the floor. This is Eddie Renaud looking for space, and stepping up nicely was Archie. And for the most part, the Titans, Velocity, goodness, taking away the shot of Eddie Renaud here tonight. Pick on the far side, maybe a little aggressive. Few complaints from KW, but officials not buying it. The shot clock expires anyways, so it'll be KW ball as they run up the near side. Underneath our broadcast position for Carl Leger. Up top for Tyler Kahn now. Quickly down in the corner off the stick of Joel Vanderwilp. And again back up top, the diving attempt. And save made by Wendy. There's a few fist bumps from Velocity players. And too many, I think, against Oakville. A little too quick out that front door again. And now too quick on the Velocity side. And a penalty now to the Velocity, as that'll release our offsetting 5s and a delay of game call. I believe Joel Vanderwilp, the guilty party. And we'll see if it's actually him. Yes, it is. Going off to serve as he stood over top of the ball. Didn't get a chance to make it downstairs, but again, we were told this number 14 is Matthew Lee. Really does not look like him, but he's quarterbacking the power play. So the mystery continues. As a nice stick check there. From, Stu McAlone. Up over center for the Velocity with speed. Jordan Dayball to the front door. And a pile up in the crease of Wendy for the second time here today, and getting up with some shoving afterwards, and now some words as they head to the bench. Those two players will go their separate ways. Alec Tamas. Boy, he was a force against Owen Sound. With his fierce play, something that, again, Kitchener St. Catharines Athletics fans know all too well. What a catch one-handed off the pass from Masters as Kyle Rushton now finds himself all alone. He'll slow down and wait for reinforcements off the bench, but he's got, again, the player we assume to be Matthew Lee standing in front of him. Cross-floor pass as the Velocity continue to kill this penalty. 35 seconds left in it, late in their shot clock as this one sails wide. Right now picked up by Jordan Van Dam, but right as the siren goes. Here's Lee. And Smith into the corner. Oh, Lee behind the back. The fake pass as the ball was going to the far side. Velocity not fooled, though, and neither was Masters off that Ryan Smith shot. Coming over, look out here as a big hit attempt. Although the player picking up the ball turned, Eddie Renault had to hold up, and now a big hit coming in front of the Velocity bench. That staggers Gage Board down to a knee. He'll turn and head up across center as he's recovered the loose ball. Board taking a couple slashes here as we've played 4 minutes in this second period already. At this time of the first, there was at least 3, if not 4 goals scored for the Titans. As a swinging stick check there from Matthew Lee, and after about 2.5 minutes on the floor, he finally heads off. Here's a pass, wrong side play here from behind the net, looking to get it out in front for Henry Archie, and unable to come up with it cleanly was Chris Young. Otherwise, he may have had open floor. This was a topic of conversation after our last game as well. Yes, they are using a yellow ball, and Masters gets a good look at it there as it hits him off the face mask and goes up and out of play. John Watson asking if he's good. He says yes, so we play on as it's Cree Blakely out of the corner. Shot around a defender, Nolan Apers, bit of a changeup as well as it bounces off the end boards all the way back across center. 5 gone in the period, and now 12 remaining in the shot clock, but it comes just as Ryan Smith drops his man far side, and John Watson calls that a moving screen. Down low out of the corner, spinning. Oh, the left arm save for Craig Wendy. Been waiting for that here tonight as he's good for a couple spectacular saves every time he takes to the floor. Eddie Renault trying a bit of a corkscrew shot, to beat Ryan Masters, but not to be, as now feeding off the bench, turning, looking for the shot, Sean Campbell, and stolen away from him, down behind everybody, Gage Board, and he can't hang on. Otherwise, he had a clear path to the net. Board sidestepping his way towards the crease, low shot, and it gets through the feet of Masters. Really a nothing play. It looked like everyone was going to slow things down, and Cree Blakely has his second of the game. So it takes 5 minutes and 40 seconds to get their first goal, but off their 25th shot of the game, Oakville now leads 9-1. And again, early on, this was about a 5-0 score to this point, as Archie controls the face-off and spins back right at his own restraining line. Pass in front. Going for a bit of a jog was Joel Vanderwilt before he decided to shoot. And Craig Wendy, the easy save. Rebound picked up by the Velocity, though, from the corner. And here's Archie. Knocked down well. Shooting was Colin McDowell, and that forced it a bit wide. So we're still on the KW shot clock here, close to the open door of the bench, and nicely flipped up there by Mason Noble to Ben Heidecker. They've connected once already, and not this time, though, as the pass to Gage Board. The shot save made by Masters. If you missed it before the game, a tribute to Brett Snell, former member of the Oakville Titans and KW Velocity. His banner hanging next to the Oakville Titans bench here tonight. His family in attendance as the giveaway from Masters. And right on the doorstep, Nolan Apers, a couple good chances for him tonight. Will put the Titans in double digits. And when the score is the way that it is, and you know going in it may be a long night, those are the types of chances and goals that you really can't give up. Quick breakout here for Oakville as they bring it down the floor. Cal Rushton right in the ball carrier's face over on the far side. As Sawyer Howell takes the opportunity to change. Renault trying to shoot around a screen. It goes well wide. Under 10 on the shot clock now as Eddie Renault gets it back. Renault east-west over the top of the fan. His attempt to shovel it towards the net goes errant. Shot clock expires, but the Velocity had already regained control, so we play on. Here's Archie. Far side, errant pass picked up by Oakville. And both teams will get a change. Picked up by Ryan Smith. In the corner for Cree Blakely. Titans bench wanting to get the lefties involved. They do, as it goes right back to Matthew Lee. Here's Apers, the shot. Oh, off the inside of the post. And right back, Apers has been honing in that shot. Gifted one earlier on. As now he may get a chance on the crease. No, he won't, as the ball doesn't quite get its way through from Woodland. Now Woodland back to play defense. As Henry Archie calling the name of number 7 a lot here tonight on both sides of the ball, but then his pass goes awry. Ben Mercy quick up the floor. Woodland sidearm shot rises up to the chin of Masters. He makes the save and then quickly back to center. This will be Quentin Bégin. Bégin to the crease and through the crease as that shot went wide. Rebound bounces back. Oakville looking to pick up Sawyer Howell, not cleanly. Gets a second chance though and will gain possession for the Titans. It was odd there from Gage Board as he crossed center. Looks like he was sniffing the stick. I don't think that's what it was, as Matthew Lee takes a tumble far side, and KW losing the ball in transition, but actually works out as it rolls back to the trailer. But that allows Oakville to even the numbers. They had a 2-on-1 break with more reinforcements coming as this shot sails well wide. Only 17 on target tonight for the Velocity, one of which has managed to get in behind Craig Wendy. That in the first period, as we've hit the halfway mark of regulation time tonight. Halfway mark of the second period is Ryan Smith. Nifty little pass to find him with not a lot of space on the crease. And the save made by Ryan Masters. Down in the corner, a shove from Cam Mancini. Double teaming this loose ball, and it will be picked up by KW. Looking for an open man. Only one close enough. Is Stu McAlone. And with nobody going to the ball on that KW possession, easy pickup here for Oakville, and they'll just slowly jog it into the attacking zone. Up top, a shot down the pipe, Woodland. Save Masters. On a bounce, played up for Kyle Rushton. Rushton slams on the brakes. Again, 18 shots on the night for KW, 33 for Oakville with 9 minutes remaining in our second period. Well, that's part of the reason why every time they go to take one, a stick or a body in the lane for the Titans. As another one goes errant and allows Gage Board to pass to the far corner. Ryan Smith a shot. Ryan Masters the save. And immediately down the floor. Oh, and it just skips away. One of those funny lacrosse ball hops, as it looked like it was going to stop in place right in front of Stu McAlone, but it didn't. And skipped away from him. Here's Eddie Renault. Pick in front of him. Apers will now go to the crease. Here is Apers. And it bounces off his stick into the stick of Ryan Masters. Decent flow here in the second period. As Wendy surprised a little bit by that shot. as Jordan Dayball cut through 2 defenders. Now loose ball picked up in the corner, shot and a goal for Kyle Childerhose. The initial shot fooled Wendy, and I don't think he was ever settled in. And that's one of the issues with only facing 20 or so shots. As Craig Wendy, I think, is going to go get a water break here, him and Masters. Hashtag goalie union, hashtag swarm union as they pass each other at center. But only facing 20 shots, pretty hard for goaltenders, especially the lacrosse netminders, to stay in the game. Again, we want to send out our greetings. As you see, Wendy's now going to wait for Masters at the line so they can salute each other once again. Our hellos to everybody at the Oakville Pump and Patio, the official post-game party destination of the Oakville Titans for this 2019 season. Join the Titans players and coaching staff at the Oakville Pump and Patio after each home game. And hey, if you're watching our stream and you're in the Oakville area, you can head down for a post-game meal or beverage after as well. Mason Noble controlling this face-off. Quickly we'll bring it in. We got a big tie up on the far side. Already penalty called. So Ryan Smith, that's not a lot of his game anyways, as he draws the penalty in a high stick. No, a rough being called by John Watson. It's one thing we've seen with the NLL rule changing from no minor for high sticking to a major. A lot of those officials that shy away from it in the winter, bringing that here to the summer as well, and we'll change it either cross-check, maybe a slash if it goes high. That time being called a rough as the stick got up in the face mask of Ryan Smith. This is him here, and again we hear the field-style call-outs wherever the ball gets moved. As Matty Lee to Ryan Smith. No Stephen Lee, or Braden Wallace in the lineup for Oakville tonight. No Justin Scott, Brett Olbickus, or Patrick Corbett, which means that Carter Schultz slots in wearing number 18 as an AP for the Oakville Titans. Lee, Renault, Smith, shot. And Smith has had a couple go wide here tonight. Renault just trying to beat the shot clock does. Masters able to control the rebound as it's up and over top of the pile into the stick of Steve Cook. .50 seconds of penalty kill time here for Sean Campbell. Shot clock does tick down here in OSL as it will in MSL and WLA. MSL brought that rule in last year, and I believe the WLA will adopt it this season if I read my Twitter timeline correctly. And feel free to debate that on your own time and terms, as there have been plenty of supporters for either penalty kill situation on either side of the run or stopped shot clock debate. Off the boards, Renault, quick peek at the clock. Smith, realizing he just had to beat the shot clock. Also checking the penalty time now as it's only a couple seconds left, and indeed we have gone back to even strength as Renault will find a man on the crease, and it's Smith as Eddie Renault continues to set up teammates here this season. Ryan Smith, second of the game. Makes it 11-2 off the 39th shot for the Oakville Titans. Clean face-off win for Chris Young. Quickly worked down, and look at the passing play there to get Woodland a clean look on the crease. Masters a good save. Well, it is Maddie Lee being announced as the assist on the goal. So we're going to go with it. Try and, again, confirm that. Oh, the cutback move in front of Craig Wendy. That might be the prettiest goal of the night with exactly 5 left to play in the period. Albeit just the third for the KW Velocity, one that shrinks the lead to 8. But wow. A big cutback step right in front of Wendy. Fake to the right, shot left, and the 23rd shot goes in for the Velocity. Wendy with 20 saves now. There was Rushton on the goal, and Tyler Kahn upset with the face-off there for Chris Young, but it resulted in a shot for the Titans and a save from Masters. Gage Board picks this one out of the pile and now backs his way into the corner. Woodland absolutely mauled, cutting through the middle, and then sat on as the ball went up out of play. And the Velocity, because it went straight up and out of play, awarded possession here. Oh, a quick shot, and another one I don't think Wendy was ready for. As we get a bit of shoving in front of his crease, he was looking straight to the front door, did his job. Smith may not have, as it wasn't handled cleanly. His shot goes errant and then came up with his own rebound, albeit only briefly. We'll get it back, though, as Ryan Smith, that was about 3 times, coming back for more on that play down in the attacking zone. All on the Oakville shot clock, however, so as Chris Young finds Eddie Renault again, they got to hurry a shot clock with under 10. Renault stumbled, and then he was held at bay by Childerhouse. Reset was called for, so as Maddie Lee takes the ball as it comes back down, fresh 30 as Apers hit just as he released, and that caused the shot to go high. 3.5 minutes remaining in the second period. It is 11-3 for the Oakville Titans. Remember, 5-0 when the goaltending change was made in that first period. So really we're sitting 6-3, save for the first 5 with the goaltenders we have now. Stare down at the restraining line. And a 2-on nobody back the other way, and Masters bailing out his defenders as he puts his left arm on the Chris Young shot. Here's Stu Michelone. Pass it up top. Ball movement has all of a sudden picked up quickly here for the Velocity. Dare I say they're getting a bit of momentum in this game. Signs of life from the visiting bench is Boyle. And that one straight down into the turf, bounced high. And the shot clock violation for the Velocity. That won't help as he chuckle and a grin under the face mask of Greg Phillips, who then jogs back into defensive position. There must have been some kind of rallying cry there on the bench of the Velocity. So all of a sudden the last couple shifts were massive for them. Another one. This is the second time Masters takes a shot right off the face. And did Ryan Masters call for time, or did John Watson just stop it here? Because it was interesting because even John Watson doubled over. They'll get a fresh 30. Masters says he's okay. Everyone's kind of looking around, but I think that was just a goalie check as Masters, for the second time tonight, took one right off the bean. Clean interception and a 2-on-1 break. Apers taken out of the play. Ball carrier to the crease, and that one, oh, they're going to get the reset as Oakville controls the rebound. I thought it went well wide off the stick of Jamie Dunbar, but now Tamas will bring it up into the attacking zone. And Tamas is going to throw his weight around here as he stays on to set picks. Tamas picking up the errant loose ball. And now Eddie Renault has it back. Renault tried to shoot it over a crowd, and late in the shot clock, some tight defense up top. Played by, is that Boyle again? Excuse me, no, it's Scott Hummel. I thought it was Noah Boyle, and if it was, a decent game for him tonight as well. Highlight a couple KW players. Yes, they're down by 8, but some fairly respectable individual performances down there on the floor. Oh, look at the ball moving in transition here for Oakville. This is their game as a crease violation. Quick restart as we're into the final minute of this second period. Picked up. Flip pass there. As Michelone will leave it as he heads off the floor. Back up top. Again, both teams have both timeouts intact. As Archie's shot, and we'll see who gets the rebound. No timeout as Masters. I think Masters was screaming timeout as he came flying up the floor. I heard it from behind me. Everybody's laughing. I heard timeout off to my right shoulder, and Oakville did not have the ball, so I didn't think it was them. The only one back there was Ryan Masters. Again, a timeout call has to come from the floor. Usually officials will let that rule slide, but Masters was sprinting to get the attention of John Watson. This will be the first timeout charged to KW. Again, they'll have one more to play with in the third. Oakville has yet to use either of their timeouts. Again, the JVI Sports Network, proud to support Major Series Lacrosse this year. And their web streaming efforts on lacrosse-tv.com. Tuesday, the Oakville Rock will travel to Six Nations. Daryl Smart, Spencer Tanguay with the call there. Our crew will be in Peterborough for Brampton Excelsiors and Peterborough. The Man Cup banner being raised the final time this season inside Peterborough Memorial Center before they move to Evinrude, and then we're back here June the 2nd, next Sunday. Oakville Titans and KW Velocity one more time. A 7 p.m. start here at the Toronto Rock Athletic Center next Sunday. 10 left in the period. 6-man set for the Velocity. They start in the corner. Tamas hard after the ball carrier, and a hard check after the fact as well. Dipping, trying to get a shot. It hits a body in front. Down for Campbell. And right at the buzzer, a save made and a few shoves after the fact as Wendy is going to vacate the scene. But 11-3 after 2 periods. That period a lot more even than the first one. 3-2 in favor of Oakville. That's the period, that second period set that they normally take off. And not to be here tonight, but work to do as we head for home in the third period for the KW Velocity. They trail by 8. We'll take a 9.5-minute timeout and be back to Oakville with more Ontario Series Lacrosse action. You're watching Oakville Titans Lacrosse on the JVI Sports Network. Teams are back out on the floor for the final 20 minutes of today's game that have been pretty much all Oakville Titans. A few flashes of good signs there in that second period for KW, including keeping it 3-2 in the frame. Remember, 5-0 to start this game, basically sitting 6-3 since the 5-minute mark of the first period. As, man, it's been a frustrating day at the draw for Tyler Kahn, and bit of a shove there, a bit of a stare down first for Chris Young. We'll keep our eye on that battle between those two as this game continues. 11-3 in favor of Oakville as Wendy jumping and dancing, and again, Kahn with a word for the official, and then a word for an Oakville player as he got up upset one more time. Here's Ryan Johnston. Johnston dancing around at the restraining line. He'll go to the far side, back across the floor again. That one intended for Cam Mancini, I believe, as some of the regular offensive players perhaps getting a little breather here. Hashtag load management has made its way to Ontario Series, perhaps, with the score being the way that it is. Sean Campbell, flip behind him. It's on net, away from the captain, Richard Hahn. Hahn with one of the 3 Velocity goals here today, but that one just too far out of his reach. Hahn, another chance, partially blocked, hits off the post and rolls into the corner all the way back up top. Fresh 30 here for the Velocity. Corey Boyle. Shot into a pile. They fight over the loose ball as it's finally picked up and shot by Jordan Van Dam in the crease of Craig Wendy, and a whistle on the stoppage for the crease violation. Davis for Matthew Lee. And I think he's switched his helmet now just to confuse us even more. Which could have been the issue before. Also with the Rochester Nighthawks gloves. So I believe that is him. Head coach Frank Lechowski pointing out a number of Oakville Titans players, including Matthew Lee. We talked about Brandon Slade, Dan Craig, Craig Wendy, all seeing time, if not practice roster spots in the NLL as a result, perhaps, of their performances here over the past few seasons. Cree Blakely. His pass to the far side. Eddie Renault will take a shot on net, and Masters will make another save. He's been pretty good, I would say, in relief of Josh Falkenstern, who got the start here tonight. But the Oakville defense not allowing KW to get back in the game. They had a bit of a spurt there in the second as the defender falls far side. Ball quickly over to the near side, Corey Boyle, and they've got Alec Tamas racing down the floor over here, and Wendy, bit of a bobble in his crease, couldn't find him, so now Johnston will just jog it up over center. As Johnston will shoot around a screen, and Masters saw that the whole way and will make the save. 4 minutes gone here, not the traditional, I would say anyways, Oakville Titans game, as we've seen them go toe-to-toe with some of the best, and they do like to run and gun a little bit more, but as that big shot, there was a tie-up between Braden Davis and a Velocity player on the far side, as this ball bounces off a KW forward and into the bench of the Titans. I was watching again, like I said, the tie-up on the far side, and The shot attempt drilled KW player right in the back of the helmet. Goes and shakes off the trainer. Some more beautiful passing as Matthew Lee found Ryan Smith, who then found Cree Blakely for his hat trick here in the opening stages of this third period. And 12 on the board now for Oakville as they stretch the lead to 9, in danger of putting that lead up to double digits. Stretching the floor on this face-off now, too, as Kyle Woodland sneaking in behind a couple players. Gauge board. Man, Henry Archie all over the floor here tonight, as he went racing after the open man in the corner. Smith will go over the top here. Maybe a bit of a tug. All the arms stay down. Now one goes up, but it's for the reset. As Smith rang it off the post, it bounces all the way back to the restraining line. That's where we are now. Gauge board. Can't control it as he had a defender on him. Now Johnson give and go pass behind Smith. Smith collides in the corner. Picked up. Or maybe not yet. All of this still on the Titans shot clock, which is now down to 10. They're saying they should have got a reset off the shot. Nobody really remembers anymore, as that took 20 seconds to battle it out over in the corner. And moot point now as the Velocity swipe it back anyways. Colin McDowell looking for help. Here's Campbell. He'll go all the way outside the zone. Quickly back in, though. Archie in the corner, and a moving screen and a late shot and a penalty, which is going to upset the KW bench. Corey Boyle, an unsportsmanlike penalty. 51 shots, and we've still got 14 minutes to play here for the Oakville Titans. Matthew Lee taking top spot. Quickly in the corner, Smith will work it back. And again, far side, Woodland and Renault. This is Blakely in the corner. He'll put it up top where Renault has now taken that quarterback spot. Wanting the shot was Blakely. Renault will take it, and it's a rising changeup. And there were 3 Oakville players vying for that ball. And I wouldn't be surprised if any one of those 3 provided the screen in front of Ryan Masters, as it now indeed is 13-3. 20 more shots in the game for Oakville over KW, who has 32. 3 goals off 32 shots. 13 off 52 for Oakville. Face-off sky high, even above our broadcast position. Didn't hit anything up there. Any of the lights that hang from the rafters. As a shot comes in, and Wendy with the save, Alec Tamas on the rebound. That was Dunbar, the attempt that time, as it's lifted down the floor. Gauge board running underneath of it. Loose ball far side. Young in there. Oh, coming in hot and heavy, Cam Mancini, and I'm not surprised that's an interference call. So he came in with a purpose, and that purpose was to knock everybody down, and no play on the ball. Delayed penalty coming here as well, and it'll be to Oakville, and it will be a hold down low as it's finally picked up by Kyle Childerhose. So starting up top is Richard Hahn. Again, one of the 3 goal scorers on the day for KW. He'll take top spot. He's got Archie to his left. Hahn takes the shot himself. It was a sidearm that was saved there by Wendy. Gage Board splitting a pair of defenders, now dodging a third as he puts it up top for Sawyer Howell. Howell. Maddie Lee reaching for it, and they're going to say it was tipped. Velocity players arguing no, it wasn't, so no over and back anyways, as Matthew Lee takes it himself with 5 on the shot clock. Can't get one there. Thought he may try and bank the bank shot maybe. I think realized at the last second you can't dunk in this league, and then was trying to figure out his options. So short hopped. Oh boy, that would have been interesting if nothing else, if that had worked. Never seen that before. Short hop the boards to see if you can, I don't know, maybe roll it down the goalie's back. The shot would have originated from behind the net, so it wouldn't have counted, but thinking anyways. Here's Hahn. Ball poked away from him, and it rolls into the crease of Wendy. Now Gage Board has to get on his horse to catch up to it. He does, and he scores. 2 assists now on the day for Craig Wendy, and that one a little bit out of the reach of Gage Board, but Board does a lot of the heavy lifting in order to pick up the assist for his netminder. Couple bounces and Gage Board winning the foot race past a defender. And the lead continues to grow here as Oakville kind of sat back a little bit in that second period, allowed KW to move their feet like we said. Flashes of momentum in that second period, but now Titans starting to pick it up as the Gage Board goal, shorthanded with 30 seconds remaining in that penalty. Talked about the number of runners with points in the game. We haven't been able to hear or track assists up here tonight, but we can tell you that 9 of the 18 runners have scored now, and that includes a hat trick for Cree Blakely and 2 for Ryan Smith. The rest are singles in what is a 14-3 stat line. Craig Wendy picking the rebound out of the pile and out of the bench. Ben Mercy, he scores, make it 10 on the roster. With a goal tonight for the Oakville Titans, and Craig Wendy, always with his head in the game, recognized that penalty had just expired. Ben Mercy also seeing what was going on, the Orangeville Northman grad. Kind of hung out right at center as he came out of the penalty box, realizing they were late in the shot clock, and Wendy hustled the pass a little bit, but they don't have to look pretty. They just have to work, and it's a 12-goal lead now for the Oakville Titans as we near the halfway mark of this third period. Another giveaway and another chance for the Titans. Gage Board will draw a penalty as he gets a couple slashes. And Jordan Dayball will go to the penalty box, providing there's no goal. Eddie Renault, high shot lifted towards the goal and over it. And Dayball will go sit, and more words from the KW bench as the officials try and keep a lid on things with the score the way it is. 15 goals off 54 shots now for Oakville, 3 off 37 for the Velocity with 10:05 remaining in our third period. If you missed it off the top, once again, a ceremony to honor Brett Snell, former player of both KW and Oakville. As his jersey hangs to the left of the home bench here tonight. Announced as a member of the starting lineup, an extra attacker on both sides prior to tonight's game, and a fitting tribute that included members of his family and his father wearing his number 14 jersey. That's why we've got the hashtag Snelly up in the top left corner. If you're tuning in late, ball down here and big scramble for it, and it ends up in the stick of a Velocity player as a shot there, and this has been a hard shift for Van Dam, and Jordan Van Dam is going to go off, but some good work being done by Childerhose as well, as Van Dam had fire in the belly there and went a little too hard at one of the Oakville players, and they're even going to keep Wendy in the net as they slow this power play down. 45 seconds remaining in the first minor. And that shot will put them 5-on-3 as the high sticking call against Jordan Van Dam. Oh, did he get 5? They gave him 5. And if they got off, the bench is arguing that's the second major penalty for Jordan Van Dam, as he was involved in that offsetting major with Wendy. Oh my goodness, the power play of the Oakville Titans. And they get a reset out of the deal, but this ball bounces stick to stick so well, and as I say that, they throw it away up top. Here's Maddie Lee. Smith. Blakely, low shot there, Woodland. Sounded like it hit the post. It did as it resets. First penalty about to expire and picked out of the crease by Blakely, as he just needed to wait another half second for that one to pop free. First penalty has now expired, as some conversation behind the play. Greg Phillips trying to entice Cree Blakely. Blakely having none of that. Has a big check there and a big step up by Young. And interference through the crease. Anyways, KW ball is passed over the top and over and back. Over and back was being signaled by Jeremy Bailey. John Watson had a tip, I believe. So miscommunication from the officials, but it remains KW ball up top as Henry Archie will just slowly cradle it. And again, shot clock ticks down with this 5-minute penalty, 3:35 remaining on it. So perhaps in other leagues in olden times, you could rag it out all day if you wanted to leave a player stand up top. One of the best at that was John Grant Jr., who will make his return to the Denver Outlaws this year. That news being announced on Twitter. And you kind of wonder, with Paul Rabel now stepping away from MLL to his PLL, if that didn't have something to do with it. John Grant Jr. second on the all-time scoring list behind Paul Rabel, but I digress. As the Titans have it in the corner. Blakely up top. Smith, shot out the outside of the post as it bounces back for Matthew Lee. A one-handed pickup and then a spin move to get around the pick of Rushton. Rushton and Hahn, two of the goal scorers. Out of the 3 they put on the board as Smith shot from up top and masters the save. Again, Ryan Masters in relief effort here today as Cree Blakely again getting shoved. That time I think it was Steve Cook and not Greg Phillips, as Matthew Lee will posture up on defense here. Now gets some help as the ball is stripped. Lee looking up the floor, no one with him, so well now it turns into a 2-on-1 as Matty Lee's pass. A little too hot to handle for Ben Heidecker. 2 minutes left in the major penalty. 5:44 remaining in our game here today, as Tamas collides with his man. If you want to have the JVI Sports Network come cover your event, if you're a player, a coach, sports or otherwise, visit jvisportsnetwork.com and get in touch with Gary, or you can tweet at us at JVI Video. And we'll be sure to put you in touch with him and hope we can work together soon, as KW chipping away at this penalty, a 5-minute major to Jordan Van Dam. And again, one that the KW bench believes is his second major of the game. As Hahn, a low shot rises up over top of the net. Cleared out there by Wendy. Again, we encourage you to follow Major Series lacrosse action. JVI in support of Lacrosse TV. Daryl Smart, Spencer Tangway from Iroquois Lacrosse Arena on Tuesday. And then we'll be up at Peterborough Memorial Center. Ball down here, over the shoulder shot for Cree Blakely. Bounces wide into the corner, picked up by Heidecker though. And Heidecker will find the trailer with speed. His shot sails high. And Johnston able to run underneath that and corral it at the restraining line. Ryan Johnston outside the fan. Will get the return pass. 5 on the shot clock. Shoots it through a crowd. Oh, bounces right in front of Masters, who then hangs on and quickly sends it down the floor. Couple Titan defenders there and just a little too far on the bounce. I believe that's Joe Vanderwilp, who couldn't catch up. The next shot of the game will be 60 for the Oakville Titans, which is a number they usually get to, which is pretty good as well. There it is, 60. Equates to 20 per period, which if you take a 30-second shot clock, is basically every possession getting a shot on net. Matty Lee through the middle, his shot saved by Masters. Matthew Lee just with 1 goal on the game, and a big collision off to the side of Craig Wendy, a check from behind. This will be 4 minutes, I believe, with 2:41 remaining as Gage Board will sit. Yes, 4 for checking from behind. The OLA rule, automatic 4. You can go 4 or 5. Still a 20-shot difference. It's been that way for quite some time between these two. As about halfway through that second period, KW started to find their legs a little bit, but obviously at that point, too little, too late, and still not much doing with this defense as we see there, and then 3 of them. Now one will drop back to turn it into a 2-on-1, but streaking away and holding up was Chris Young before he collided with Ryan Masters as Sawyer Howell led that break. Here's Alec Tamas. Tamas and Gray Phillips at the right side of your screen, right at center, discussing, but they won't do anything about it as the shot from Ryan Smith ends up in the back of the net. So Smith has his hat trick. Looked like Greg Phillips was trying. He had tried to have words earlier with Cree Blakely. He's going to stay on the floor here, and Alec Tamas will also stay on the floor as they had words earlier on. Sawyer Howell, keep your eye on the left side of your screen, immediately lines up on the line with Phillips. And he doesn't sign the dance card either. And again, it's a rough face-off for Tyler Kahn, as Howell nearly ran him over. 3 minutes remaining in the penalty. That's probably going to be a non-factor as we've got 1:40 left in what's going to be another victory here for the Oakville Titans. In this season, they'll be home to KW again next week. Game you can catch here on the JVI Sports Network. We're live at 7 p.m. Be sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel for season-long content. As a late goal here from KW. Their 4th of the game. And Kyle Childerhos. (16-4). That's the first of the major, the double minor for checking from behind, as that ticks down to 2 minutes now against Gageboard. Archie, far side. Wendy, the save off the shot. Rebound out in front. And Kahn, frustrating night for him as he was knocked down. Spin move here from Young as we hit the final 60 seconds. Oakville looks like they're content just to spread the floor and try and kill as much of this off as Alec Tamas has it high. Tamas watching the shot clock. It expires. He throws the ball away, and there will be 31 seconds left. And Greg Phillips said something to John Watson, something too much. Turned as that one was airmailed up into the screening. I think he was asking for a delay of game call, and now Captain Richard Hahn will come to the defense of his teammate, but KW's getting the ball at center as well. Must be a straight 10 for Phillips, I would think, as the ball is in the corner now. Doesn't really matter at this point as Hahn puts it in the corner, and I was about to credit Wendy for a big save. But the ball does get down low in the quick passing play for the Velocity, and I think is that Childerhouse again. It's either him or Jordan Van Dam. Childerhouse might have a hat trick here tonight, actually. Yes, he does. Oakville Titans, this is their 5th game of the year. They will move to 4-0-0-1, an overtime loss, and they'll move into a tie with the Six Nations Rivermen for top spot in Ontario's Senior B Lacrosse. LacrosseShift.com is Ontario Series Lacrosse stats website. As time expires, an 11-goal victory, 16-5, your final here from Oakville, as Craig Wendy accepts congratulations from his teammates. A 39-save effort for him tonight. 5 goals allowed off 44 shots. 16 goals off 63 for the Oakville Titans, who led almost the entire way. Again, like we said, the rematch between these two teams next week right here. Until then, we'll be on major series watch as the Six Nation Chiefs take the floor Tuesday. Visit lacrosse-tv.com for coverage from us. And as we said earlier, if you're in the area now, you can head down to the Oakville Pump and Patio, the official post-game party destination of the Oakville Titans. They pick up another home victory, their 2nd of the season, this time 16-5 over the KW Velocity. Our producer tonight has been Gary Morrison, our director, Ryan Harkness. On behalf of them and the JVI Sports Network, I'm Matthew Carrick. Have a great week, ladies and gentlemen. We hope to talk to you next weekend from here in Oakville.